It's Wednesday, May 13th.
For Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
The championship series is set. The Ottawa Charge will face the Montreal Victoire for the Walter Cup starting tomorrow night.
Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations.
Ottawa's new transit GM has released a plan to make improvements on our city's transit network, including the return of two-car service to Line 1 of the O train.
And the race is on to host Canada's next NATO defense bank. Ontario's premier backs Toronto, while Ottawa's mayor says our city is the best bet. Your Morning Ottawa starts right now.
Good morning. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb. And of course, very exciting times for us here in this city. We now know who the Ottawa Charge are going to play.
Yes, and you know what? I feel like especially with the Ottawa 67s and the Ottawa Senators just not quite getting there, all eyes peeled to the Charge, and we've got their back.
It's going to be very, very exciting. The Walter Cup final happening and starting really quite soon. And all the action is here in Ottawa. I love it. We are a sports town. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
We really are. We'll have TSN 1200 Steve Lloyd coming up right after the 7 o'clock hour to tee up the game for us for what we need to know. But we'll start with the news headlines. And of course, that's what we're starting with. The championship series officially set, and we now know who Ottawa will face for the Walter Cup.
For Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
The Montreal Victoire won last night's deciding Game 5 in Laval. The Victoire take down the defending champion, the Minnesota Frost, in a close game. It was 2-1. For the first time, the PWHL Championship Series will feature two Canadian teams. Game 1 will take place tomorrow night in Montreal, and then the series comes back to Ottawa for Game 3 at the Canadian Tire Centre on Monday night.
A report from the City of Ottawa's Auditor General suggests our city's police force may have a budgeting issue. The AG says there are gaps when it comes to project management, and that one earmark for $600,000 is already costing more than $5 million.
Was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took many of these projects on after years of staffing and financial pressures. The report also finds some projects are under-resourced, inconsistently reported, and in some cases, inaccurate information is provided to oversight bodies. The service has accepted all recommendations from the Auditor General. Ottawa's new transit boss has released a 10-point plan to improve public transit. Rick Leary says he developed the plan after spending the last month speaking with riders, union leaders, and city councilors. The first order of business, get LRT back up to full service. He says that will happen next month.
By the middle of June, we will have two trains back in service on Line 1. Very comfortable with that. Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations or the Blues Fest this summer.
Leary says he is looking at more preventative maintenance when it comes to buses and developing a schedule around real travel times. He says it's too soon to talk about the east extension of LRT until the current line is running the way it should be.
The race is heating up for the Canadian headquarters of New Defence and Security and Resilience Bank. 4 of Canada's largest cities, including Ottawa, are vying for the HQ. Premier Doug Ford is putting his weight behind Toronto, but Ottawa's mayor says our city is the right location. Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa are all competing for this. The federal government will decide where it goes, but Ford is trying to tip the scales in the favor of Toronto. The purpose of the Defence Bank is to provide long-term, low-cost financing for defense projects by NATO members and allies. Ford argues it should be located near the headquarters of all 5 of Canada's largest banks.
There's only one city in Canada that can truly provide everything the bank needs, and that city is Toronto. Backed by Team Ontario, backed by all the other cities surrounding the city of Toronto and Ontario. The bank needs a host city that is one of the largest financial hubs in North America.
Officials here in the nation's capital are pushing back, arguing that Ottawa is the best situated city in the country to host the defense bank.
It allows the federal government to situate the bank in our two largest provinces, to situate it near the headquarters of national defense and the Canadian Armed Forces, to situate it close to the 130 foreign missions that are in our city, and to situate it near Parliament Hill.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries holding more than $130 billion in assets while creating an estimated 3,500 jobs. Sutcliffe is hoping to tap into that job creation, partnering with Gatineau's mayor earlier this year to sell the region as the ideal location. There is still no timeline for the federal government's decision.
Tributes are pouring in after the sudden death of a Canadian NBA star, Brandon Clark, who played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, investigators are trying to piece together what happened. The 29-year-old died in Los Angeles, where paramedics responded to a home Monday. Drug paraphernalia was found at the home. The incident is being investigated as a possible drug overdose. The Vancouver-born Ford was with the Grizzlies his entire NBA career. He suffered multiple injuries, playing only 2 games this season. The team says in a statement, Brandon was an outstanding teammate and even better person. The league says, quote, he played the game with enormous passion and grit. There is encouraging news from the head of the World Health Organization, who says there are no signs of a broader hantavirus outbreak.
But of course, the situation could change. And given the long incubation period of the virus, it's possible we might see more cases in the coming weeks.
The final group of 28 passengers who were on board the cruise ship have been evacuated by air to the Netherlands. 3 people from the ship have died from the virus. In Canada, 9 people are being monitored, 4 in BC, 2 in Alberta, and 3 in Ontario.
Liberal MP Nate Erskine-Smith tells CTV News that he will resign his seat when the House rises this summer while challenging his loss in a provincial Liberal nomination race.
This isn't about me, this is about the process, and I'm going to remove myself from any outcome to ensure that we focus on getting to the bottom of this.
The Toronto MP says that he wants to ensure the federal Liberals have time to find a strong replacement. He is challenging his loss in Saturday's Ontario nomination race over what he calls serious irregularities. A win would have paved the way for a run at the Ontario Liberal leadership. Erskine-Smith says that he is unsure now whether he is still interested in that.
A big night for the Ottawa Blackjacks, kicking off their CEBL season at TD Place.
7 to shoot. Tate drives. The runner is good. Count it.
Terrell Tate with the nail in the coffin, sealing the win for Ottawa. 93-88 was the final over the Calgary Surge.
Devontae Smart leading the charge for the Blackjacks last night with 30 points in this one. Ottawa's next game is on Friday night in Brampton against the Honey Badgers.
All sports here in Ottawa. What a great start.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much action. There's so many sports teams now. Like, there's something happening all the time, which is so exciting.
Yeah, and especially now as we run into the spring and summer months, too. We'll get the Ottawa Redblacks back in the game, too. So there's always just 24/7, full year. We can always put our support behind our teams.
The Rapid, Atletico, like, there's just so many sporting teams. It's crazy, and I love it so much.
Yeah, I also love the long weekend forecast. I know you touched on it Monday, but it's still looking very good.
It's still looking very good, but we do have a couple of soggy days, unfortunately, to get through before we get to that nice, sunny, warm weather. 12 degrees is the high for today, so yes, temperatures below seasonal, but we've been used to this. It's kind of a bit below seasonal throughout most of the months of May, most of the days of May, sorry. Average high around this time there's around 18.7, so we should be sitting at around almost 19 degrees, and we'll be well below that today. The sun will set 8:23 p.m., so we're inching closer to that 8:30 sunset. Temps right now this morning, not so bad, a little bit warmer than they have been over the last few days. We are sitting at 8 degrees here in the city, 9 in Montreal, 7 in Cornwall, 8 in Brockville. Already starting to see some scattered showers in Kingston, sitting at 8 degrees. And you can see the rain is coming. This green is what we're expecting the rain, so it should start within the next hour or two. We are expecting that rain to start, and it will continue to rain, unfortunately, throughout the day ahead. So we are expecting anywhere from 10 to 15 millimeters of rain in the forecast for us. It will then taper off later on this evening, and then we could still see some spotty showers in the overnight, which will continue into your day tomorrow as well. So a very wet day for us today. Most of that heavy rain happening late this morning into your early afternoon, and then it will kind of taper off later on this evening, but we could see upwards of 15 millimeters of rain. So a very soggy Wednesday forecast for us, unfortunately. You will need to grab the umbrella today. You will need it this morning, and then of course when you're leaving work later on today, temps also below seasonal. So a daytime high of only 12 degrees. So that's well below the 18 degrees that we should be sitting at this time of the year. You can see it is below average throughout the region today. 10 in the Valley, 12 for Bancroft, 15 for Trenton, Kingston area, as well as in Kemptville, Brockville, Cornwall. You could see some thunderstorms in the forecast for today. Temperatures in those low teens is what we're expecting throughout the day ahead. 10 degrees in Petawawa, 12 over in Gatineau, as well as in Montreal. It will get much better though. We just have to get through today, tomorrow, and then we will see some warmer temps. Overnight 6 degrees, tomorrow high of 14, overnight dropping to 10. Then Friday, just in time for the long weekend, that's where we're going to start to see warmer temperatures. Temps into the 20s, mid-20s by next week. There is a chance of these spotty showers Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. However, it's a slim chance of seeing these showers. If we do see any, it will be quick and it will leave quick, so we don't have to worry about it being a completely wet weekend. We will see more sun than rain as we head into the long weekend.
Weather is brought to you by Manatic Tree. Complete tree care from start to stump.
We do have a collision westbound on the 174 at Blair Road, which is slowing things down already this morning. So take extra time if you are heading in that direction. 174 is reduced to one lane in both directions at Blair, so there are already some backups in that area as well. Now let's check out your TSN must-see moment.
Welcome inside the Sports Center newsroom. Adam Scully here with your must-see moment from Tuesday in Fort. We're heading to Laval, Quebec. Frost taking on the Victoires second period. Frost break in. Vanessa Upson feeds Elizabeth Giguère. But she is robbed by Anne-Renee Desbiens. Unbelievable save by the Victoire netminder. Stacks the pads and makes the glove save a la Martin Brodeur. Desbiens, highlight reel save, earned your must-see moment from Tuesday. Wednesday on TSN, you can see WNBA action when the Storm visit the Tempo. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
All right, it is contest time. We want you to wake up and win with CTV, Your Morning, and beancars.ca. We could be paying your bills with a nice $20,000 giveaway. Think about all those bills piling up. You could pay all of them, or at least most of them. Possibilities are endless at this point. Today's code word is reward. So what you do, head to our contest page at ctvottawa.ca. You can always scan that QR code as well on the left side of your screen. Enter today's code word, which is reward, with all your information for your chance to win. This is the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by beancars.ca, Carleton Place. Good luck to all. And still to come on our show, more details about the city's plan to improve public transit right here in the capital. All those details coming up after the break. We'll take a peek outside through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Melissa letting us know it is going to be a soggy day ahead, but the long weekend looking oh so nice. 6:13 on your Wednesday. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. 6:17 on your Wednesday. Here's a look at the day ahead. Something a little different than we've been used to over the last few days. Rainfall more rainfall, and then umbrellas continue to be necessary this evening, rolling through tomorrow, potentially seeing a lot of precipitation over the next 24-hour period. Melissa will give us all the details on when that rainfall lets up, and then when that beautiful sunshine and warmth return just in time for the long weekend. Full forecast coming up a little bit later on. Let's take a peek at your roads at this hour, and nothing major to report. We are still seeing a little bit of backup at this time. We have a collision westbound, so if you're heading out this morning, just make sure you leave yourself a little bit of extra time. But the rainfall hasn't started yet, but as it starts to creep into the afternoon window, we still might start to see some pooling in the road. So just leave yourself some extra time and be cautious of all that continuing on through the afternoon. OC Transpo's new boss, Rick Leary, unveiled a 10-point plan yesterday aimed at boosting reliability and rebuilding trust. Not an easy task given the service's troubled track record, especially through 2026. CTV's Leo LaRocque has more at the OC Transpo's latest pledge.
After getting off the LRT, Olivia Dito usually stops short from taking the bus. Her reason?
It's not very consistent. You're waiting, and it's never coming. Hence why I'm taking Ubers daily, and it's not reliable anymore.
OC Transpo's reputation of unreliability is a top complaint for many riders. Dozens of bus trips are canceled every day.
They're too slow. There's not enough buses.
LRT isn't much better. Passengers stranded during breakdowns and ongoing axle issues means fewer trains on the track, derailing service further.
We want to build the most customer-focused transit system in Canada.
On Tuesday, OC Transpo's new general manager, Rick Leary, announcing a customer-first action plan, developed after spending the last 30 days speaking with transit users, workers, and city staff.
And to get there, we need to have a couple of things.
First up, Line 1 LRT, which is expected to return to full double-car service by mid-June. And throughout the summer, some older buses will be retired and replaced with electric ones, and more mechanics will be hired.
Building that reliability will build confidence in the residents, hopefully bring more people back to public transit.
While there's still no opening date for the LRT East extension, the plan also looks at new ways to make money through advertising partnerships. And if the province takes control of the LRT, OC Transpo could save $85 million. The goal seems simple, a functioning transit system, but the challenge...
Been hearing this for a year now.
And they never do anything yet.
Making it happen and getting riders on board.
And I know it's asking a lot of our customers to say, please be patient, but the pieces are coming together.
Ubers are expensive, but you know what? It gets me where I need to be on time.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
It's 6:28 degrees. We got some showers on the way over the next hour or so don't forget the umbrella. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back.
While the buy local push and U.S. booze ban in several provinces has proven fruitful for many Canadian winemakers, lingering interprovincial trade barriers and high taxes are limiting their potential growth. That's according to a brand new report on this country's wine sector that CTV News was granted exclusive first access to. CTV's Rachel Aiello on how Canadians, wineries, and what they want to see.
If there's false barriers erected between provinces, it doesn't make sense.
Winemaker Tim Kepfer would like to grow his small winery, but provinces being slow to break down interprovincial trade barriers has put a cork in those plans.
From our perspective, there's never been infrastructure to ship wine to other provinces, so that market's still young and inaccessible to a winery my size.
Billions of dollars in untapped economic benefit is being left on winery floors across the country, according to a new report. Canadian-made wines currently make up just under 29% of domestic wine sales, contributing $10 billion annually to the GDP. But new analysis estimates that increasing the market share to 51% could grow the sector's GDP contribution to $13.7 billion a year. Prince Edward County produces award-winning sparkling, delicate reds, crisp whites, and innovative natural wines. But despite province's U.S. booze bans opening up shelf space, many local winemakers say there's still challenges getting access.
There are so many different rules between all our regulatory systems that it is actually very difficult to market that to a consumer. It should be, would you like to buy a bottle of wine from your local winery? Yes, here you go, and have a good time.
The industry wants a federal strategy and a reduced tax burden. Right now, according to Wine Growers Canada, mid-size wineries pay on average 14 times more in excise duty than their U.S. competitors.
That means that winery in the United States has a greater chance of investing in their business, growing their business, whereas the winery in Ontario, or any place in Canada for that matter, would face a significant impact.
The federal government says it's done its part, but now it's on the provinces that have all promised to allow direct consumer sales to make it happen.
We've talked to the provinces about moving faster.
Wineries across the country sustain more than 99,000 jobs. Minister LeBlanc said today he agrees it's in the national interest to let the wine from these vines flow more freely. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Prince Edward County.
The Ottawa Charge will face the Montreal Victoire in the Walter Cup final beginning in Montreal on Thursday. So today on Your Morning Ottawa, we are asking for your comments on how do you feel about the Charge's chances in the final? Let us know your thoughts. Email us at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling really good, especially with the fact that, especially here in Ottawa, you know, we set the record attendance for a playoff game at the CTC. And I feel like now in the finals with everybody cheering for the Charge, that arena is just going to be so fun to be at, and I feel good about it.
I just think this is going to be an incredible series to have two Canadian teams. I mean, when do we ever really get to see this in hockey? Never. We always just wait for one NHL hockey team in Canada to win, right? So now we have two women's teams. I think it's just going to be a phenomenal series. I'm looking forward to it, and I think they have I think their chances are good as well. Like, I have faith. It's been a rough year. They've gone through like a lot of adversity this year, and I think you could see they're just really banding together, and they're going to win.
When you think about this team, been around for 3 years.
Yeah.
In the playoffs for 2 years, 2 consecutive years. Their coach had to step aside to deal with breast cancer. Now Coach McLeod is back.
Yeah.
You got Brianne Jenner, who's an incredible team leader. I'm going all the way.
Their goaltender,
they're going to win it.
Phenomenal.
They're going to win it. They're going to win it. I'm just, fully back in the Charge. This is so exciting. And then playing at the CTC.
And they went to the final last year and they lost, so they have some experience now, right? Like they know what it takes to be there and what they need to do differently. So I do have good feelings about it.
There you go. All right, so we're going to be hearing from you in the show. You know how we feel now, but how do you feel about the Charge's chances for the final? Send us those comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
And coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, sticking with the Walter Cup final, we preview the championship series between Ottawa and Montreal with TSN Steve Lloyd. We'll have that just after the 7 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
To the middle of the week. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb. And hopefully everybody brings their umbrella today. If they're heading off to work, you'll need it. It's going to be a bit of a soggy Wednesday for us.
That's all right. We're getting all that out of the way as we head into the long weekend.
Exactly. And then we'll see sunshine and very warm temps into the weekend, which I love.
I think we'll take that.
Yeah.
All right. On a brighter note, we're going to talk sports in our news headlines. The championship series is now set, and we know who Ottawa will face for the Walter Cup.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
Ooh, what a game. The Montreal Victoire won last night's deciding Game 5 in Laval. The Victoire take down the defending champion Minnesota Frost in a nail-biter. It was 2-1. For the first time now, the PWHL Championship Series will feature 2 Canadian teams. Game 1 will take place tomorrow night in Montreal, and then the series comes back to Ottawa for Game 3 at the CTC on Monday evening.
A report from the City of Ottawa's Auditor General suggests our city's police force may have a budgeting issue. The AG says there are gaps when it comes to project management, and that one earmark for $600,000 is already costing more than $5 million.
Was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took many of these projects on after years of staffing and financial pressures. The report also finds some projects are under-resourced, inconsistently reported, and in some cases, inaccurate information is provided to oversight bodies. The service has accepted all recommendations from the Auditor General. Ottawa's new transit boss has released a 10-point plan to improve public transit. Rick Leary says he developed the plan after spending the last month speaking with riders, union leaders, and city councilors. The first order of business, get LRT back up to full service. He says that will happen next month.
By the middle of June, we will have 2 trains back in service on Line 1. Very comfortable with that. Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations or the Blues Fest this summer.
Leary says he is looking at more preventative maintenance when it comes to buses and developing a schedule around real-time travel. He says it's too soon to talk about the east extension of LRT until the current line is running the way it should be.
The race is heating up for the Canadian headquarters of the new Defence Security and Resilience Bank. 4 of Canada's largest cities, including Ottawa, are vying for the HQ. Premier Doug Ford is putting his weight behind Toronto, but Ottawa's mayor says our city is the right location. Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa are all competing. The federal government will decide where it goes, but Ford is trying to tip the scales in favor of Toronto. The purpose of the Defence Bank is to provide long-term, low-cost financing for defence projects by NATO members and allies. Ford argues that it should be located near the headquarters of all 5 of Canada's largest banks.
There's only one city in Canada that can truly provide everything the bank needs, and that city is Toronto, backed by Team Ontario, backed by all the other cities surrounding the city of Toronto and Ontario. The bank needs a host city that is one of the largest financial hubs in North America.
Officials here in the nation's capital are pushing back, arguing that Ottawa is the best situated city in the country to host the Defence Bank.
It allows the federal government to situate the bank in our 2 largest provinces, to situate it near the headquarters of national defense and the Canadian Armed Forces, to situate it close to the 130 foreign missions that are in our city, and to situate it near Parliament Hill.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries holding more than $130 billion in assets while creating an estimated 3,500 jobs. Sutcliffe is hoping to tap into that job creation, partnering with Gatineau's mayor earlier this year to sell the region as that ideal location. There is still no timeline for the federal government's decision.
Tributes are pouring in after the sudden death of Canadian NBA star Brandon Clark, who played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, investigators are trying to piece together what happened. The 29-year-old died in Los Angeles, where paramedics responded to a home Monday. Drug paraphernalia was found at the home. The incident is being investigated as a possible drug overdose. The Vancouver-born Ford was with the Grizzlies his entire NBA career. He suffered multiple injuries, playing only 2 games this season. The team says in a statement, Brandon was an outstanding teammate and even better person. The league says, quote, he played the game with enormous passion and grit. There is encouraging news from the head of the World Health Organization, who says there are no signs of a broader hantavirus outbreak.
But of course, the situation could change. And given the long incubation period of the virus, it's possible we might see more cases in the coming weeks.
The final group of 28 passengers who were on board the cruise ship have been evacuated by air to the Netherlands. 3 people from the ship have died from the virus. In Canada, 9 people are being monitored, 4 in BC, 2 in Alberta, and 3 in Ontario.
Liberal MP Nate Erskine-Smith tells CTV News that he will resign his seat when the House rises this summer while challenging his loss in a provincial Liberal nomination race.
This isn't about me, this is about the process, and I'm going to remove myself from any outcome to ensure that we focus on getting to the bottom of this.
The Toronto MP says that he wants to ensure the federal Liberals have time to find a strong replacement. He is challenging his loss in Saturday's Ontario nomination race over what he calls serious irregularities. A win would have paved the way for a run at the Ontario Liberal leadership. Erskine-Smith says he is unsure now whether he is still interested in that.
There was a reunion of the 5 major late-night hosts last night.
Please welcome back to The Late Show, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, and Jimmy Fallon.
All of them in one room. Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver all came together last night on Colbert's Late Show. They hosted a podcast together called Strike Force 5 during the writers' strike in 2023.
The group came together again last night to show solidarity with Colbert, whose show has been canceled. The Late Show goes dark after May 21st.
And if you kind of follow along too, whenever this happens with Colbert and then on Kimmel, all of the late night show hosts all back each other, which is really cool to see. And then all of them together like that. I don't remember the last time you said a few years since they're all together in the same room.
That is beautiful.
I love that they're working together, not against each other, right? It's very, very powerful to see. And before we get to the weather this morning, we want to show you this beautiful sunrise. Check this out. This was taken right here in the Byward Market this morning. Absolutely stunning. So if you missed it, you get to see it here because I did miss it this morning. I didn't get to see it.
Gorgeous.
But look at how stunning it absolutely is. And of course, in your forecast for today, it's going to be a little bit wet in the forecast, so we are expecting those spotty showers this morning with wet weather on the way into your afternoon. The good news is the long weekend is looking sunny and very, very warm. Temperatures this morning, not so bad. It's warmer this morning than it has been over the last few days. We are sitting at 8 degrees, 7 in Cornwall, 8 in Brockville, already seeing some scattered showers in Kingston, Trenton area, and we are expecting that wet weather to start very, very shortly. You can see it is fast approaching us, so it should start within the next hour. We should start to see a little bit of rain in the forecast. Light at first, but we will see heavy rain late this morning into your afternoon. So upwards of 10 to 15 millimeters of rain in the forecast for us. So quite a bit of accumulation for us as well. As you can see, darker at times, these green bands here, that's when rain will be at its heaviest. So late this afternoon is when we are expecting more of that heavy rain. It should taper off a little bit into the evening hours, but still a chance of spotty showers overnight and right through into your day tomorrow. So Thursday, also looking a little bit wet, unfortunately. So a couple of wet days, but don't worry, the long weekend is looking nice and sunny and much warmer than we'll experience today. A high of only 12 degrees, well below or where we should be sitting this time of the year. It's 10 in the valley, 15 in Trenton, 14 for Kingston today. Some areas to the south of us could see some thunderstorms into their day ahead as well. 12 is the daytime high in Gatineau, Montreal. So over the next couple of days, it will get much warmer starting on Friday. 6 is the overnight low tonight, 14 for tomorrow. So 2 more days of temps below seasonal, and then we will be above seasonal Friday and then through next week. Even our overnight lows nice and mild. There is a chance of spotty showers Friday and through Saturday, but a very, very slim chance. More sunshine than we will see rain.
Weather brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
And eastbound on the 417, we're seeing some buildup at the 416 split in through Woodruff. The 174 also reduced to 1 lane in both directions at Blair Road as we are seeing some backups in that area. There is construction in both directions on the 417 at Greenbank. No lane reductions, but things are slowing down quite a bit.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers, 1-800-JUSTICE.
Ottawa's Attorney General has found that the Ottawa Police Force has a budgeting issue. We're going to find out more about that coming up just after the break. Here's a live look through our Skycam. A gray start to your day. And Melissa tells us we've got rain on the way. Stay with us. It is 6:41, 8 degrees. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's some of the top stories that we're following today on Your Morning Ottawa. This series is officially set. The Ottawa Charge will face the Montreal Victoire in the Walter Cup final. The PWHL Championship will go to the Canadian team for the first time after the two-time champion Minnesota Frost were eliminated last night. OC Transpo's new GM has introduced his plan to improve service on the O train and buses right here in the capital. And the race to host Canada's new NATO Defence Bank is heating up as the Premier backs Toronto, while Mayor Mark Sutcliffe says our city is the best choice. Now, Melissa, it is going to be a soggy day today.
Unfortunately, we are expecting wet weather this morning, and which will continue into the afternoon. So scattered showers today. We could see upwards of 10 to 15 millimeters of rain, heavy at times into the afternoon. A high of only 12 degrees. Staying cool for tomorrow with 14 as your daytime high. Spotty showers in the forecast for us on Thursday. Then Friday, that's when we'll start to see nicer weather on the way. A high of 20 degrees, mix of sun and cloud. Still a slim chance of a few scattered showers. On your drive in this morning, it is heavy in the city. We are seeing some volume that has started to build this morning on the Queensway. So if you are heading out on your roads this morning, just keep in mind that it is already a little bit heavy out there and a little bit slow. We are seeing slowdowns if you are heading Richmond and through Pinecrest. Also Woodruff, also a bit heavy this hour on the 416 split in through Woodruff.
The city's Auditor General is raising concerns about oversight, budgeting, and accountability when it comes to some of the Ottawa Police Service's biggest initiatives, some worth hundreds of millions of dollars. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
Next spring, this new police facility is set to open in Barrhaven, but it's $10 million over budget, largely due to poor soil conditions. The city's Auditor General says major projects like this one lack proper management and oversight.
The oversight seems to be lacking, and as a taxpayer, I think we all have to be concerned about that.
Those questions about who's tracking these projects and how closely at the center of a new report presented virtually Tuesday to the Ottawa Police Services Board. The Auditor General finding some projects are moving forward without proper budgets and in some cases inaccurate information provided to oversight bodies.
Overall, the decentralized approach to project management increases the risk of inconsistent project management practices, incomplete project reporting, and reduced comparability between projects.
The report also finds some projects are under-resourced and project costs are not always consistently documented or reported. One example, the new district policing model, which started with a $600,000 budget. That number grew to $2.2 million, but the report shows spending to date is much higher, $5.2 million.
Not having a formally approved budget from the outset of the project, there is an increased risk of cost overruns and weakened accountability for project spending.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took on many of these projects after years of staffing and financial pressures.
Everyone was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
The service has accepted all 7 recommendations from the Auditor General, including everything from training to budgeting. Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
All right, the Ottawa Charge will face the Montreal Victoire in the Walter Cup final beginning in Montreal tomorrow. So today on the show, we are asking for your comments on how do you feel about the Charge's chances in that final? Let us know. Your Morning Ottawa at ctv.ca. And all 3 of us here, Rosie, we're feeling good.
Yes,
really
absolutely.
Positive about this. They've had a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Okay. They had to sit back and wait and find out who they would play. They found that out yesterday. So yes, the Montreal Victoire is going to come out hot because they've just made their way to the finals, right? They've just had a game. But I think it's given the Charge that time to regroup,
right?
To strategize, to rest, regenerate, and come out firing. This is what I'm thinking. And then, you know, how can you not perform when you're playing at the CTC, packing them in?
Absolutely. And the Charge won their series in 4 games, where I think the Victoire had to go to 5, so they had that extra game in there. So, you know, maybe a little bit more tired, maybe a little bit more injured or banged up, as they call it. So I think the chances are great for the Charge.
I know, and that Game 3 being right back here at the CTC, I feel like the roof is just going to pop off, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. Let's keep the conversation going. We are asking, how do you feel about the Charge's chances in the final? Give us your analysis. Let us know what you're thinking. Send us your comments. Your Morning Ottawa at ctv.ca. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street. The clouds have moved in. Melissa's calling for the showers. Should be starting up any minute now, right, Melissa? So keep the umbrellas handy. It is 6:50. We're at 8 degrees. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa.
It is time for your morning fix, and one pet owner's dog is channeling his inner Michael Jackson with some moves reminiscent of the iconic pop artist. It's so good. Oh, wait, he loses the hat, but wait, he will pick it up. The dog can be seen dancing to Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, wearing his own Jackson-like hat, and later in the video you could see it fell off, and then he picks it up and puts it right back on. I guess you can call it a smooth, not so criminal. So cute.
It's one of the greatest videos I've ever seen.
He's gonna pick up that hat and put it back on too. Like he wants to perform.
If we got a little moonwalk out of that dog, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. So cute. Well, we are not aware that Dim Sum needed a PR campaign. So this is the famous tea house in Hong Kong, and it hosts something called a dim sum rave. Instead of a dim sum cards, there was a disco ball, live music, and this rave was put on by the tea house new owner as a way to attract younger customers. For people who prefer dim sum without the dance and the music, don't worry, they still do regular service during the day. Got to try something new, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here.
I know. I mean, the coffee raves made sense to me, you know, get high on caffeine and rave it out and dance it out, but dancing with a dumpling, I mean, I guess that works.
But you know what? My daughter, when she would eat food that she loved, she'd start dancing and
true.
humming and be happy. So it's like you get some good food in you, and you're like, oh, let's go.
Let's feel it out. I love it. Just don't want the dumpling to land on my head. I'm shorter than everybody else, so people are always taller than me. Yeah, one thing it was drinks, now it would be a dumpling. And you'll be like delighted to see who fetches the bats for this minor league ball club every time a player gets on base.
She is a big star here. Every time she goes out, especially the first time of the night, she gets a huge cheer from our fans.
So many cute dog videos today, and Omaha is the biggest star in the single A Lake Elsinore Storm, and she is beloved by fans. They also claim that she's the only bat dog for a pro baseball team on the U.S. West Coast. Even better, after most games, she also does a meet and greet with fans, posing for pictures and shaking a paw with whoever asks. Look at
That's it.
sweet.
I want a dog. I want another dog. Oh my gosh.
I cannot. Look at her go get the bat.
So happy.
Oh, come on.
I mean, this show with these two videos, if that doesn't make you love dogs between those two, I don't know what will.
Now we need the two combined. We need a dancing bat dog.
There you go.
The Michael Jackson dog could be like the halftime performance show while the other dog goes and gets the bats. We can have a whole performance put on here.
I like that program. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Cloudy conditions. Rain is on the way. We're at 8 degrees. It's 6:57. We'll be right back. It's Wednesday, May 13th.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull and her shot, she scores!
The championship series is set. The Ottawa Charge will face the Montreal Victoire for the Walter Cup starting tomorrow night.
Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations.
Ottawa's new transit GM has released a plan to make improvements on our city's transit network, including the return of two-car service to Line 1 of the O train.
And the race is on to host Canada's new NATO Defence Bank. Ontario's Premier backs Toronto, while Ottawa's mayor says our city is the best bet. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Willie Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
Coming up right after Melissa's wonderful long weekend forecast, we'll be speaking with TSN 1200 Steve Lloyd, teeing up the wonderful PWHL championship that Ottawa will be partaking in.
Can't wait.
So exciting, and that's going to be our top story today. We're all sports on this Wednesday. The championship series is officially set, and we now know who the Ottawa Charge will play for the Walter Cup.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
The Montreal Victoire won last night's deciding Game 5 in Laval. Montreal take down the defending champion, the Minnesota Frost, in the nail-biter, 2-1. For the first time, the PWHL Championship Series will feature two Canadian teams. Game 1 will take place tomorrow night in Montreal, and then the series comes back to Ottawa for Game 3, with that game being held at the Canadian Tire Centre on Monday night.
A report from the City of Ottawa's Auditor General suggests our city's police force may have a budgeting issue. The AG says there are gaps when it comes to project management, and that one earmark for $600,000 is already costing more than $5 million.
Was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took many of these projects on years after staffing and financial pressures. The report also finds some projects are under-resourced, inconsistently reported, and in some cases, inaccurate information is provided to oversight bodies. The service has accepted all recommendations from the Auditor General.
An employee at a Canada Tire shop is dead after a tire ruptured in a mechanical bay over the weekend. Ottawa police say officers were called to the business on Edgewater Street Saturday afternoon after a man in his early 20s suffered critical injuries. Paramedics say that he was taken to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The situation is not considered suspicious, but the Ministry of Labour is now investigating the incident at Canada Wheels.
Ottawa's new transit boss has released a 10-point plan to improve public transit. Rick Leary says he developed the plan after spending the last month speaking with riders, union leaders, and city councilors. The first order of business, get LRT back up to full service. He says that will happen next month.
By the middle of June, we will have two trains back in service on Line 1. Very comfortable with that. Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations or the Blues Fest this summer.
Leary says he is looking at more preventative maintenance when it comes to buses and developing a schedule around real travel times. He says it's too soon to talk about the east extension of LRT until the current line is running the way it should be.
The race is heating up for the Canadian headquarters of the new Defence Security and Resilience Bank. 4 of Canada's largest cities, including Ottawa, are vying for the HQ. Premier Doug Ford is putting his weight behind Toronto, but Ottawa's mayor says our city is the right location. Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa are all competing. The federal government will decide where it goes, but Ford is trying to tip the scales in favor of Toronto. The purpose of the Defence Bank is to provide long-term, low-cost financing for defence projects by NATO members and allies. Ford argues that it should be located near the headquarters of all 5 of Canada's largest banks.
There's only one city in Canada that can truly provide everything the bank needs, and that city is Toronto, backed by Team Ontario, backed by all the other cities surrounding the city of Toronto and Ontario. The bank needs a host city that is one of the largest financial hubs in North America.
Officials here in the nation's capital are pushing back, arguing that Ottawa is the best situated city in the country to host the defense bank.
It allows the federal government to situate the bank in our two largest provinces, to situate it near the headquarters of national defense and the Canadian Armed Forces, to situate it close to the 130 foreign missions that are in our city, and to situate it near Parliament Hill.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries holding more than $130 billion in assets while creating an estimated 3,500 jobs. Sutcliffe is hoping to tap into that job creation, partnering with Gatineau's mayor earlier this year to sell the region as the ideal location. There is still no timeline for the federal government's decision.
U.S. coffee chain Dunkin' Donuts is planning to come back to Canada.
Ham, egg, and cheese English muffin with the coffee.
So Dunkin' has signed a deal with restaurant giant Foodtastic, which runs chains under 24 names, including Second Cup, Pita Pit, Milestones, and To My Cafe.
Foodtastic plans to open hundreds of new locations across the country, with the first coffee shops opening within the next year. And Ottawa could see several locations.
That's Tommy Cafe.
No, you're just fancy. Will, you're just fancy.
My Cafe.
I'm not Tommy, I'm Tomai.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was trying to hold it together, and then I looked over at you.
Will's
and
just
you
being
lost
fancy
it.
today. That's okay.
I couldn't keep that one under wraps. To My Cafe.
In your defense, sometimes words look very different
Oh man, that was
on
good.
screen.
I needed
They
that
do.
today.
Because I was trying to hold it together. I'm like, oh, did we just say To My?
To My Cafe.
I'm like, I read Tommy, but okay, To My works as well.
Just a new chain. New chain opening up. Don't worry about it.
That's all.
Oh, that's
What do you
good.
got for us, Missy?
Oh, goodness. I don't know
the
how I can
horsey,
compete with that.
Melissa.
Yeah, it's the horsey. Here is your weather picture of the day. Steve says this is a horse named Mango in Dunrobin, Ontario.
Weather picture brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating, just box me up.
And of course, we would love to see your weather pictures right here on the show. The best way to do that is reach us, weathershots@ctv.ca. That's our email address, weathershots@ctv.ca. Temps today still a little bit below seasonal. No record-breaking temperatures for us this afternoon. 12 degrees is the high. Normals are on 18.7, so we should be sitting at around 19 degrees. We will get there, though, in towards the end of the work week and in through the weekend. Absolutely beautiful conditions on the way. Not too bad to start off your morning. We are sitting at 8 degrees here in the city. Same within Cornwall, 9 in Brockville. Already seeing some scattered showers in Kingston, Trenton area, sitting at 8 degrees in both areas. 6 in the valley this morning. So you can see we are expecting rain. Of course, it'll start in the west first and then make its way east to us here in Ottawa, and we should see it within the next hour. So before 8 o'clock, we should start to see a few light scattered showers. Heavier rain into the afternoon. We could see 10 upwards of 15 millimeters of rain in the forecast for us. It will begin to taper off late this evening, but still some spotty showers overnight and in through your day on Thursday as well. So Wednesday, Thursday looking a little soggy. The soggier day being today, where we're expecting a bit more rain in the forecast for us. Not a ton of sunshine for today. It's a bit more wet, so make sure you grab the umbrella this morning, wear your rain jacket, your rain boots. You will need all of that gear because it is a bit wet, especially by later on this afternoon. 12 for us here in the city, same within Cornwall, 13 for Kemptville, Brockville. Some areas could see a few thunderstorms today, mainly areas to the south of us and Cornwall as well. So we could see some active weather on the way for some areas. 12 degrees is the high in Gatineau, same within Montreal. As we head towards the long weekend, though, weather is looking fantastic. 6 is the overnight low, 14 for tomorrow. So still 2 days of these below seasonal temperatures before we see temperatures more normal for this time of the year and a bit above in through the weekend. 20 degrees for Friday. Spotty showers possible Friday and through Saturday, but nothing that will ruin your day. Just a slim chance of seeing these little scattered showers in the forecast. Nice and sunny and warm on Sunday with a high of 21 and warm on Monday with a high of 24.
7-day weather forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business.
Pack your patience on the roads this morning. Tons of traffic out there. We have a collision northbound on the 416 at Hunt Club. Collision both ways on Dunrobin at Lillian Way. Eastbound on the 417, seeing some buildup at the 416 split in through Woodruff. Westbound on the Queensway, it's congestion beginning at Parkdale in through Bayshore. Westbound on the 174 also slow 10th line in through Montreal Road. Construction in both directions, 417 at Greenbank. No lane reductions, but things are slow in that area. And the 174 is reduced into one lane in both directions at Blair. Some backups in that area as well.
Well, we finally know who the Ottawa Charge will have to take on in their final playoff series.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, Poulin. Her shot, she scores! Marie-Philippe Poulin on the power.
The Montreal Victoire will face the Charge for the Walter Cup Championship Series. What will the Charge have to do to win it all? Steve Lloyd is my guest this morning, the host of the morning show on TSN 1200 to break it all down. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, so set us the scene right now. Ottawa Charge, you know, they've been waiting patiently, especially after the delayed game for Game 5. When you take a look at that matchup, how are we feeling?
Well, they lost 3-4 to Montreal in the regular season, but they beat them in the playoffs last year, 3-1 to get to the Walter Cup final. This is the first all-Canadian matchup. Now, when you say that, like, this is the third year of the league. What's also interesting, so Montreal wins last night. That's the first time, because it's the third year of the league, so the sample size is 8 series to this point. That's the first time a higher seed has won. A favorite has won a series. The underdog has always come through here. So if it gets back, it reverts to the way it was, you know, maybe that's in Ottawa's favor. But, you know, goaltending is going to be huge. Desbiens started for Canada. Gwynn Phillips has been tremendous. She was on Team USA. She's been so good last year, so good in these playoffs. It's going to be a tight series that way. It's going to come down to goaltending probably, as it usually does.
Yeah, you know, I think it's going to be so great for the city, too, as well. You know, right here in Ottawa, we're setting off the playoff attendance record for a playoff game in the PWHL. Do you think that we might hit that again when it returns on Monday at the CTC?
Yeah, and that's going to be a 6 o'clock is holiday coming up on Monday. Yeah, I'm expecting a pretty big crowd on Monday. So it's going to go Monday and then Wednesday for the home games here. But it's just been like when they went up against the Senators a few weeks ago and that afternoon, on that Saturday, 2 big games. We had like 27,000 people pay to watch professional hockey in this city, and it's just people are so on board with the Charge. It should be electric coming up on Monday.
It's so amazing, and I remember that Sens game where I think it was the second intermission. They put up the Charge score, and the arena erupted, knowing that they'd clinched that playoff position, which was so nice. When you look at the Ottawa 67s, the Ottawa Senators really not getting up to there. Do you think that puts a little bit more pressure on the Ottawa Charge to bring home a win in the hockey world?
I don't know if it's pressure, but it's nice to, you know, have all the focus on you. I'm sure they're loving it. Like, everybody's dialed into this now. Who doesn't love a championship? Like, I was down in the Glebe yesterday. It's just great to see on Bank Street. It's like the Charge signs are up. It's no longer Bank Street. You can see people wearing Charge gear around town more. People are jacked for this.
And you love that too, you know, especially right here in Ottawa. How great is this for the sport of women's hockey and just women's sport in general to have a championship right here in the nation's capital?
Absolutely. Like, it's women's hockey, youth hockey, especially in this city, has been growing and growing exponentially, it seems, the last 10 years or so. And just to have, you know, girls to have that brass ring they can look to here and say, you know what, one day maybe I can do that.
I love that. Okay, so game 1 is actually tomorrow. Right away, we're getting right to it in Montreal. What do you think they need to do to get that first little boost of momentum moving forward in the series?
Oh, cliche time. First goal. Get the first goal, get off to a fast start, maybe, you know, try to take the crowd out of it, the usual that way. No, but, you know, there's so much experience on both of these teams, and it's a lot of the same players. There is some turnover year over year, but they know each other. It's a small league that's growing. Expansion's happening as we speak here. So I expect it to be tight. It got really chippy against Boston, I found, and I think we're going to see more of that coming up between Ottawa and Montreal.
So much excitement right here in Ottawa as the Ottawa Charge go into the finals. TSN 1200, Steve Lloyd, thanks for joining us, my friend.
All right.
And again, Monday will be the CTC return game. That will be game 3, and then if necessary, game 4 back at the CTC, 7 p.m. right here in Ottawa if you're looking for some home tickets to support our squad. Melissa, over to you.
Ottawa in 4, that's what I'm going to say. Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa with the warmer weather comes the rise of ticks. Ottawa Public Health walks us through how to protect ourselves. Our guest is standing by in the CTV Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. And here's a live look for Centennial Glass Skycam this morning, waiting for that rain to start. Still a little cloudy out there right now. Not so bad temperature-wise, sitting at 8 degrees, but we are expecting scattered showers into the afternoon. Good morning, Ottawa. Happy Wednesday. It is 7:15. Kiwanis Feeds Kids is a multi-chef culinary experience celebrating Ottawa's exceptional food community and making sure that children in our city do not go hungry. Joining us this morning, we have David Godso and Abby Potdar. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Melissa.
This is such an exciting thing to have in our city. Let's first start off, Abby, with you and tell us about Nutrition Blocks and what you guys do.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. So my name is Abby. I'm the founder and executive director of Nutrition Blocks. We are an Ottawa-based charity focused on providing meal programs for children, especially living in food insecure household. As you know, Melissa, 1 in 4 children currently live in a food insecure household. That's about 40,000 children that are coming to our public schools. Wow. Without proper nutrition, without a meal every day. So Nutrition Blocks create programs focused on those children.
Oh, that's so incredible. And David, why did you want to be involved with this project?
Well, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a beautiful 18-month-old daughter at home. So being a new father, anything that involves children hits a lot differently now.
Close to your heart, right?
Close to my heart, exactly. Yeah. And talking with Abby yesterday, he said it so eloquently, all the things that Nutrition Blocks is doing. And when I talked with Robin Duetta, who's one of the organizers of the charity event, him and I have done events for years. So when he gave me the call, it was a quick yes. And I'm happy to.
You're like, I'm in.
I'm in. Yeah. I'm happy to contribute.
We'll get you to start preparing this tuna dish we're creating here today, and maybe tell us about the event itself.
Yeah. So I'm also a member of the Kiwanis Club of Ottawa. Kiwanis International is a service organization across the globe focused on serving the children. We raise money and create programs that improve the quality of life for children across the world.
Okay.
And this particular partnership, as you may know, Melissa, there's about 1,200 children currently living in overflow shelters or motels in Ottawa. And we are creating this event to raise money and awareness so that these children have a meal when they go to school every day.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. And how can people get involved in the event itself?
Sure. So you can go to Kiwanis Feeds Kids. As David mentioned, it's going to be at the Horticulture Building next Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to have 12 of the top chefs in Ottawa, including David, having a food station. We're going to have 3 beverage stations. And the tickets are available on kiwanisfeedskids.org.
Okay.
And the ticket price includes a 50% tax donation receipt.
Oh, wonderful.
And every single penny raised from this event will go into feeding children.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. Okay, David, you've been making this work of art for us here this morning. Can you tell us what you have created with the tuna?
So we have a beautiful yellowfin tuna on the bottom. The dressing is a spruce tip and grapefruit ponzu.
Ooh.
Some nice ingredients that we're using here are a fermented green almond. So this is actually an almond before.
I wasn't sure if it was an olive or what that was.
Yeah,
so now that makes sense.
It's an almond before it's turned ripe.
Okay.
We've got some grapefruit segments, a little bit of creme fraiche, some puffed wild rice, and then the last one is just a little bit of nettle oil.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is this the dish you'll be creating next week?
It is, yeah. We're gonna be doing this one next Wednesday, right? Yeah.
Next Wednesday. I know it's hard to keep track of the dates this time of year. There's so much going on. And how can people get tickets?
So kiwanisfeedskids.org. I think you're going to see that on your website.
Yeah, on the screen.
And so the tickets are available online.
Perfect. And a very important event because this is a problem here in our city. A lot of kids go to school being hungry.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, thank you both so much for collaborating and joining us here this morning. We truly appreciate it. And again, you can head to the website for more information and to grab those tickets for a very important cause. Rosie.
As the weather warms and more of us head outdoors, the risk of ticks should be on our minds. Joining us this morning is Renee Roberts, Public Health Inspector in Environmental Health with Ottawa Public Health. And he's here to walk us through how to protect ourselves, our families, including our pets. Good morning to you, Renee.
Morning.
Good morning to you. First off, why are ticks out already, Renee?
Well, we're starting to see warmer weather. We're starting to see more people kind of going outside. The brush is starting to get a little bit more moist. And those are conditions that really encourage ticks to grow and to come out of their normal hibernating season during the winter. And that is unfortunately when we can get exposed to ticks.
Now, let's talk about reducing risks.
Absolutely.
To exposure to ticks.
So the first risk to yourself, if you're going out into the brush, if you're going out hiking or doing any sort of activities, gardening, where you're just coming into contact with a lot of long grasses or small brushy stuff, is to wear basically bright clothing. Make sure that your socks are tucked into your pants, because ticks like to climb upwards when they attach to someone. We encourage people to wear an insect repellent, spray insect repellent, so either a DEET or Icaridrin. We encourage individuals, basically, if you have a property that has brush or leafy materials, try to remove some of that or cut down a little bit on that, just to reduce your risk a little bit more. And also be aware that when you come out from being out in the brush, if you're going hiking or taking your dogs out for a walk, to look for ticks as well, just to make sure that you don't have any that have attached themselves onto you.
Okay, so what do you do if you do find a tick that's attached itself to you? What do you do after a bite?
So what you want to do, if you do absolutely see a tick that's on you, and I have a little tick key, which I got from it's from a local hardware store.
Okay.
It's a little device that you can use. You basically plant it down onto where a tick would be. You slide it up, and then you very carefully remove the head and the whole body of the tick.
It'll do it like that if you...
It will,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
The important thing is that you don't, if you're using fine tweezers, is you don't puncture or pierce the rest of the body of the tick, because that could either cause infection or could cause whatever the tick has inside its body to be injected into, basically into you, and you really don't want that.
Okay, so this piece of equipment right here, you go into a store and you ask for, what is this name? What is it?
It's a tick key.
A tick key?
Yes.
Okay, so you can ask
either
for a
get them
tick key.
online or from like a local hardware store, they may have them, or even like maybe a wildlife store as well.
Okay, so that's what you do if you do get a tick bite.
And also, if you do get a tick bite, pay attention to if you've got how long that tick has been on there, because the 24-hour period between when a tick happens to bite you and basically feed on you is very key. If you can remove them as soon as possible, that's the best thing. And pay attention to any signs and symptoms. Like if you're starting to fear fever, fatigue, swollen lymph nodes, or even chills, that's an indication that maybe you need to go see your physician or family doctor.
Well, you just answered the last board right there, early signs and symptoms. Thank you so much for that. You just have to be careful. Is there anywhere in the city where ticks are less prevalent? Can we go, can we avoid ticks?
Absolutely. Well, ticks, because the nature of what a tick is, they don't like dry areas. So they really like moist and humid places that you would see with long grasses and brushy areas. So places that are, our parks, our places where we've got like a short grass, outdoor areas, pathways that have already been cleared, they're the good and safe areas. But we always recommend citizens, if they have any questions, visit our website. You can even go to etick.ca. If you find a tick, that'll help you identify what type it is as well.
Very good to know.
Yeah.
And there's your tick key right there. You can go get that if you need it. All right, Renee Roberts, Ottawa Public Health Inspector. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so
really
much.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Will, over to you.
Important information, especially this time of year. Well, still to come on Your Morning Ottawa, we learn how to bust a move all summer long at ZB. And guess what? It's totally free. We'll tell you about those details coming up a little bit later on in the show. 7:26 on your Wednesday. We'll be right back with your news headlines and full weather forecast.
Good morning. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edden.
Halfway point of our show, I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
It is prom week all week. We are covering different events happening throughout the city, and we're going to be talking to someone from Breakaway Experiences, a way to enjoy the city. It's kind of a different way, right? You're not just getting an item, you're getting a whole experience for the graduates. So we'll be talking to them coming up just a little bit later.
Love that. Can't wait for that talk. We're going to start with some sports in our news headlines today. The championship series is officially set. We now know who the Ottawa Charge will play for the Walter Cup.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
The Montreal Victoire won last night's deciding Game 5 in Laval. Montreal takes down the defending champions, the Minnesota Frost, 2-1 in a nail-biter. For the first time, the PWHL Championship Series will feature 2 Canadian teams. Game 1 will take place tomorrow night in Montreal, and then the series comes back home to Ottawa for Game 3 at the CTC, which will be Monday night.
A report from the City of Ottawa's Auditor General suggests our city's police force may have a budgeting issue. The AG says there are gaps when it comes to project management, and that one earmark for $600,000 is already costing more than $5 million.
I was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took many of these projects on after years of staffing and financial pressures. The report also finds some projects are under-resourced, inconsistently reported, and in some cases, inaccurate information is provided to oversight bodies. The service has accepted all recommendations from the Auditor General.
An employee at a Canada tire shop is dead after a tire ruptured in a mechanical bay over the weekend. Ottawa police say officers were called to the business on Edgewater Street Saturday afternoon after a man in his early 20s suffered critical injuries. Paramedics say that he was taken to hospital where he later died. The situation is not considered suspicious, but the Ministry of Labour is now investigating the incident at Canada Wheels.
Ottawa's new transit boss has released a 10-point plan to improve public transit. Rick Leary says he developed the plan after spending the last month speaking with riders, union leaders, and city councilors. The first order of business, get LRT back up to full service. He says that'll happen next month.
By the middle of June, we will have 2 trains back in service on Line 1. Very comfortable with that. Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations or the Blues Fest this summer.
Leary says he is looking at more preventative maintenance when it comes to buses and developing a schedule around real travel times. He says it's too soon to talk about the east extension of LRT until the current line is running the way it should be.
The race is heating up for the Canadian headquarters of the new Defence Security and Resilience Bank. 4 of Canada's largest cities, including Ottawa, are vying for the HQ. Premier Doug Ford is putting his weight behind Toronto, but Ottawa's mayor says our city is the right location. Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa are all competing. The federal government will decide where it goes, but Ford is trying to tip the scales in favor of Toronto. The purpose of the Defence Bank is to provide long-term, low-cost financing for defense projects by NATO members and allies. Ford argues that it should be located near the headquarters of all 5 of Canada's largest banks.
There's only one city in Canada that can truly provide everything the bank needs, and that city is Toronto, backed by Team Ontario, backed by all the other cities surrounding the city of Toronto and Ontario. The bank needs a host city that is one of the largest financial hubs in North America.
Officials here in the nation's capital are pushing back, arguing that Ottawa is the best situated city in the country to host the Defence Bank.
It allows the federal government to situate the bank in our 2 largest provinces, to situate it near the headquarters of national defence and the Canadian Armed Forces, to situate it close to the 130 foreign missions that are in our city, and to situate it near Parliament Hill.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries holding more than $130 billion in assets while creating an estimated 3,500 jobs. Sutcliffe is hoping to tap into that job creation, partnering with Gatineau's mayor earlier this year to sell the region as the ideal location. There is still no timeline for the federal government's decision.
Tributes are pouring in after the sudden death of Canadian NBA star Brandon Clark, who played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, investigators are trying to piece together what happened. The 29-year-old died in Los Angeles, where paramedics responded to a home Monday. Drug paraphernalia was found at the home. The incident is being investigated as a possible drug overdose. The Vancouver-born Ford was with the Grizzlies his entire NBA career. He suffered multiple injuries, playing only 2 games this season. The team says in a statement, Brandon was an outstanding teammate and even better person. The league says, quote, he played the game with enormous passion and grit.
Liberal MP Nate Erskine-Smith tells CTV News that he will resign his seat when the House rises this summer while challenging his loss in a provincial Liberal nomination race.
This isn't about me, this is about the process, and I'm going to remove myself from any outcome to ensure that we focus on getting to the bottom of this.
The Toronto MP says that he wants to ensure the federal Liberals have time to find a strong replacement. He is challenging his loss in Saturday's Ontario nomination race over what he calls serious irregularities. A win would have paved the way for a run at the Ontario Liberal leadership. Erskine-Smith says that he is unsure now whether he is still interested in that.
A big night for the Ottawa Blackjacks, kicking off their CEBL season at TD Place.
7 to shoot. Tate drives. The runner is good. Count it.
Tate with the nail in the coffin, sealing the win for Ottawa. 93-88 was the final over the Calgary Surge.
Javonte Smart leading the charge for the Blackjacks last night. We get this, 30 points in this one. Ottawa's next game is on Friday night in Brampton against the Honey Badgers.
Great start to the season. Nice to get that first win right at the get-go.
Absolutely. And sports are firing on all cylinders here in this city. I love it. We got some playoff sports, some leagues that are just starting up. So a little of everything, which I love.
Excitement remains high.
Yes, and we have great weather heading into the long weekend as well. We will see nice warm temperatures on the way. Still dealing with those spotty showers in through the weekend and today as well. We are expecting wet weather. The rain should start very shortly. It will be a wet day ahead and unfortunately a little bit cooler this afternoon as well. We are sitting at 8 degrees here in the city, same within Cornwall, 9 in Brockville. It's showing that some areas in Ottawa are seeing a little bit of rain early this morning. So the rain has definitely started in some areas and it will continue to fall throughout the day ahead. It will be quite wet late this afternoon, late this morning into your early afternoon. That's when we're expecting this heavy rain on the way. It should taper off late this evening, but still some spotty showers into your overnight, into the forecast for us tonight. Tomorrow, dealing with spotty showers as well, but most of the heavy rain happening today where we could see upwards of 10 to 15 millimeters. So a bit of a wet day in the forecast for us. For recess, unfortunately, we are expecting those showers to last all day long and temperatures in those double digits, a daytime high of 12 by 1 o'clock this afternoon. So we're reaching those daytime highs a little earlier this afternoon, but unfortunately it is still below seasonal, so not overly hot into the day ahead. 13 degrees is the high in Kemptville, Brockville, 12 for Bancroft, 10 in the Valley for today, 12 for us here in Ottawa, same within Gatineau and over in Montreal and Mont-Tremblant. Over the next few days, we'll definitely see a shift in temperatures. We just have to get through today, tomorrow, where we will see these below seasonal temps before it warms up. 6 is the overnight low tonight, 14 is the high for tomorrow. Then Friday and through the weekend forecast, it's showing showers, but a slim chance of these spotty showers on Friday and through the weekend forecast, but temperatures in the 20s.
All right, buckle your seats. We got a lot to get through here in our traffic report. Collisions both ways on Dunrobin at Lillian Way. Collision on the eastbound 417 Parkdale on the off-ramp. Eastbound on the 417 seeing some buildup at the 416 split until Woodruff. Westbound on the Queensway seeing congestion beginning at Parkdale until Bayshore. Westbound on the 174 slowing down at 10th line until Montreal. Construction both directions on the 417 at Greenbank. No lane reductions, but slowing things down. The 174 is reduced to 1 lane in both directions at Blair, and we are seeing some backups in that area, so a slow morning out on your roads.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
A TD insurance survey suggests many Ontarians may not realize how some everyday habits could affect their insurance coverage, from leaving a regular driver off an auto policy to not disclosing short-term rental guests. The findings highlight how small details people overlook can have bigger implications for coverage. Let's bring in Niro Kandasamy from TD Insurance to tell us more. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Well, we're excited to have you on. Can you tell us what are some of the things that people may be doing that they don't even realize qualifies as small frauds?
So what I'd say is most small frauds aren't really intentional. They're common oversights when life circumstances changes. So for example, updating mileage. So when your driving habits change with the focus of being in the office more frequently, summer season coming along, those are things that you would want to disclose and update. Adding a temporary or additional driver, not updating the policy to indicate some of those pieces of information. And then things such as short-term rentals or guests for your home policy and not disclosing that information. Those are some of the common oversights that we typically see.
And what are some of the potential impacts of failing to catch or disclose these type of infractions?
The biggest impact that we often see is there's friction when you need help most during a time of claim. So your claims can be slowed down while details are reconciled. We know people make mistakes from time to time. Many cases they're accidental. So the goal is always to keep the information updated to avoid any sort of delays or stress when you're filing a claim.
And how can people make sure that they aren't doing these things and that their coverage won't be impacted?
Yeah, I'd say it's three simple things. Keep the information current. So any sort of changes to any sort of coverages from a driving perspective or how you use your home or any other usage changes, please keep that updated and speak to your insurer. The second thing is when changes do occur and you're unsure, speak to a licensed insurance professional. They can help make sure you maintain the right coverage for your specific needs. And I'd say the last piece would be use trusted resources to learn kind of the common scenarios that would require a change so you're not left guessing.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And here's a live look at our Lazy Boy Lounge. This morning we have our guest standing by. We are going to be talking with Breakaway Experiences, talking about some great prom experiences if you're looking for a gift for that graduate on your list this year. Here's a live look at our Centennial Glass Skycam this morning. A cloudy day. Some areas in the west seeing a few scattered showers this morning. We're waiting for the rain to start here in the Byward Market in downtown core, but it will happen at some point. Good morning, Ottawa. It is 7:42.
Prom week continues on Your Morning Ottawa, and many family members and friends are beginning to think about gifts for those graduating. Why not consider a unique experience? Chief Experience Officer Dan Brennan joins us this morning with some unique gift ideas to talk about here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so when you think about graduates, right, coming in from high school, their whole world ahead of them, why not do something really cool and different, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You want to reward them for the end of this long haul before the next chapter, right?
Yeah.
So, and what do you get them that doesn't say, like, you know,
boring.
Whether it's your especially your grandkids or an aunt and uncle, you could buy them a really cool experience. It's like a bucket list experience. Yeah. And you know, they're 18, 19, they'll do it.
They'll do it,
and there's
exactly.
a lot of, but something they're not going to buy for themselves.
Okay,
you know?
So with Breakaway Experiences, you go ahead, you take a look at all the different experiences that are available in and around Ottawa. What do we got first here? The first one, what, race car drive?
The race car drive is at Shannonville Motorsport Park in Belleville. It's a couple-hour drive away, but you're driving either Camaro or Ford Mustang, but race-geared one on the track.
I love
the instructor next to you. It's like as fast as you can go.
Really?
Yeah. So for someone who's 18, that's awesome. And
That is kinda
no tickets,
perfect.
you know, they can just get in and run.
And you got a professional
You have a
driver
professional
in there with
instructor
you.
right next to you. So you know what? You know, take it on a Saturday, drive up. It's a couple-hour drive, but it's worth it for that adrenaline rush.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you're on terra firma here, racing around in a car. The next one, you can go on some water and do some rafting.
This is really cool, and it's here in Ottawa. We all know about the rafting up at Bundaberg, or sorry, up by Renfrew. This one is you get on to Britannia, and you go down the river. All the way down to the Parliament buildings. There's rafts, you go under a bridge. You get to see there's some cool islands there you go around. A perspective you'd never see, family friendly, lots of fun.
And you get to go in the water too if you choose, if you want.
Oh yeah, you can go in the rapids there. There's some cliff jumping there. But it's seeing Ottawa. There's like the Parliament buildings there. When do you get to see Ottawa from that perspective? It's easy. They'll bring you back to Britannia.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, another water sport, paddling.
Yeah, this is a little bit of changing gears.
Yeah.
This is stand-up paddleboarding. They have yoga or learning to stand-up paddleboard. So it's one of those sports we see people on the river, Mooney's Bay, on the lake. You can actually get out and try it yourself. Then if you like it, you know, rather than go buy the equipment. And then you can also take a yoga class on the water, which is really cool. That's very zen, you know. A little wet, but zen.
Yeah.
That's a kind of different gift, you know, and they might like to do it themselves.
Okay, so we're on the ground, race car driving, we're paddling on the water, and then next up we'll be in the air.
In the air. Yeah. Biplane ride out of Ottawa. If you look up in the sky once in a while, you'll see them coming around. Look for the two wings. It's really, really cool. Snoopy and the Red Baron.
Yeah.
For two people, side by side, up in the air, and it takes off from the Aviation Museum. Or no, sorry, out from Carp.
Yeah.
Comes down the Ottawa River. Very cool.
And you get to see the city like never before.
Like never
from
before.
Way up high. It's so wonderful. I've done it several times. I adore this.
With the wind in your face.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's a really cool gift.
And what's this about a donut experience?
Well, you know, in Toronto, Vancouver, Victoria, we have all kinds of food tours, but we have this really unique guided donut tours. So if you have like your grandkids are graduating from high school, or your niece or nephew, and you're trying to think you want to be the cool gift, you know, a donut tour, they'll guide you around to 4 or 5 spots, taste a really like good donuts, fancy donuts, and just something different and tasty, you know. And you go home with a box full of donuts. It's really popular as a gift. The food tours are all popular, but donuts is kind of neat because it's not something you buy for yourself, but I'd like to try that.
Yeah, and you had to end off on something to do with food for the segment. So now I'm hungry. Dan Brennan from Breakaway Tours, thank you so much for that.
Pleasure.
It's great to have those experiences.
It's always fun to have those cool, or to give those cool gifts.
Yeah, breakaway experiences. Thank you so much, Dan. Melissa, over to you.
Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and beancars.ca. We could pay your bills with a massive $20,000. Imagine what you can do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. So today's code word is reward. Head over to our contest page at ctvottawa.ca, or you can also scan that QR code you see right there on your screen. Enter the word reward with your information for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest. This is brought to you by beancars.ca and Carlton Place.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford. Take your weekend pass. You've got the Bronco Sport for it.
CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video uploaded at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
Here are your milestone celebrations for Wednesday, May 13th, and we're going to start off with a happy 6th birthday. This is to Caleb, and this is from all of your friends and family. We have a happy 1st birthday to our sweet Aurora. Love from Mommy, Daddy, Nana, Pa, and your big brother Enzo. What a sweet photo. We also have a happy 4th birthday to Sybil. Lots of love from Mommy and Daddy, your little sister Isla, Grandma and Grandpa, Nanny and Poppy, and all of your aunts and uncles, especially Taco Steve. And of course, if you have a milestone celebrated with us, please send your birthday announcements for kids 13 years old and younger. And for those turning 100 years or more, wedding anniversaries as well. For those celebrating 50 years or more, all you have to do is send us an email, ottawa.milestones@ctv.ca, and we'll be sure to get your announcement on the air.
It's Wednesday, May 13th.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
The championship series is set. The Ottawa Charge will face the Montreal Victoire for the Walter Cup starting tomorrow night.
Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations.
Ottawa's new transit GM has released a plan to make improvements on our city's transit network, including the return of two-car service to Line 1 on the O train.
And the race is on to host Canada's new NATO Defence Bank. Ontario's Premier backs Toronto, while Ottawa's Mayor says our city is the best bet. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
On the nose, come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Willie Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb. And are you getting ready to get your groove on? Dance lessons, free dance lessons back at Zibi this summer. So we're going to get a little preview and put our moves to the test. You ready?
You going to be dancing as well?
I am going to be dancing.
Maybe we'll be dancing too.
And will somebody jump in? Somebody else, maybe?
Will always has his dancing shoes on. I feel like he might be ready.
A few of us have been known to jump in and out whenever a dance little jiggy comes on our show.
Dance, cheerleading, you can do all the steps.
Very busy week here on the show.
It has been.
All right, let's start with some sports in our news headlines this morning. The championship series is set. We now know who the Ottawa Charge will play for the Walter Cup.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores!
The Montreal Victoire won last night's deciding Game 5 in Laval. Montreal takes down the defending champion, the Frost, 2-1. For the first time, the PWHL Championship Series will feature 2 Canadian teams. Game 1 will take place tomorrow night in Montreal. The series comes back to the capital for game number 3 at the Canadian Tire Centre. That will be on Monday evening.
A report from the City of Ottawa's Auditor General suggests our city's police force may have a budgeting issue. The AG says there are gaps when it comes to project management and that one earmark for $600,000 is already costing more than $5 million.
Was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took many of these projects on after years of staffing and financial pressures. The report also finds some projects are under-resourced, inconsistently reported, and in some cases, inaccurate information is provided to oversight bodies. The service has accepted all recommendations from the Auditor General.
An employee at a Canada Tire shop is dead after a tire ruptured in a mechanical bay over the weekend. Ottawa police say officers were called to the business on Edgewater Street Saturday afternoon after a man in his early 20s suffered critical injuries. Paramedics say he was taken to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The situation is not considered suspicious, but the Ministry of Labour is now investigating the incident at Canada Wheels.
Ottawa's new transit boss has released a 10-point plan to improve public transit. Rick Leary says he developed the plan after spending the last month speaking with riders, union leaders, and city councillors. The first order of business, get LRT back up to full service. He says that'll happen next month.
By the middle of June, we will have 2 trains back in service on Line 1. Very comfortable with that. Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations or the Blues Fest this summer.
Leary says he's looking at more preventative maintenance when it comes to buses and developing a schedule around real travel times. He says it's too soon to talk about the east extension of LRT until the current line is running the way it should be.
The race is heating up for the Canadian headquarters of the new Defence Security and Resilience Bank. 4 of Canada's largest cities, including Ottawa, are vying for the HQ. Premier Doug Ford is putting his weight behind Toronto, but Ottawa's mayor says that our city is the right location. Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa are all competing. The federal government will decide where it goes, but Ford is trying to tip the scales in the favor of Toronto. The purpose of the Defence Bank is to provide long-term, low-cost financing for defence projects by NATO members and allies. Ford argues that it should be located near the headquarters of all 5 of Canada's largest banks.
There's only one city in Canada that can truly provide everything the bank needs, and that city is Toronto, backed by Team Ontario, backed by all the other cities surrounding the city of Toronto and Ontario. The bank needs a host city that is one of the largest financial hubs in North America.
Officials here in the nation's capital are pushing back, arguing that Ottawa is the best situated city in the country to host the defense bank.
It allows the federal government to situate the bank in our two largest provinces, to situate it near the headquarters of national defense and the Canadian Armed Forces, to situate it close to the 130 foreign missions that are in our city, and to situate it near Parliament Hill.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries holding more than $130 billion in assets while creating an estimated 3,500 jobs. Sutcliffe is hoping to tap into that job creation, partnering with Gatineau's mayor earlier in the year to sell the region as the ideal location. There is still no timeline for the federal government's decision.
Tributes are pouring in after the sudden death of a Canadian NBA star, Brandon Clark, who played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, investigators are trying to piece together what happened. The 29-year-old died in Los Angeles, where paramedics responded to a home Monday. Drug paraphernalia was found at the home. The incident is being investigated as a possible drug overdose. The Vancouver-born forward was with the Grizzlies his entire NBA career. He suffered multiple injuries, playing only 2 games this season. The team says in a statement, Brandon was an outstanding teammate and even better person. The league says, quote, he played the game with enormous passion and grit. There is encouraging news from the head of the World Health Organization, who says there are no signs of a broader hantavirus outbreak.
But of course, the situation could change. And given the long incubation period of the virus, it's possible we might see more cases in the coming weeks.
The final group of 28 passengers who were on board the cruise ship have been evacuated by air to the Netherlands. 3 people from the ship have died from the virus. In Canada, 9 people are being monitored, 4 in BC, 2 in Alberta, and 3 in Ontario.
Liberal MP Nate Erskine-Smith tells CTV News that he will resign his seat when the House rises this summer while challenging his loss in a provincial Liberal nomination race.
This isn't about me, this is about the process, and I'm going to remove myself from any outcome to ensure that we focus on getting to the bottom of this.
The Toronto MP says that he wants to ensure the federal Liberals have time to find a strong replacement. He is challenging his loss in Saturday's Ontario nomination race over what he calls serious irregularities. A win would have paved the way for a run at the Ontario Liberal leadership. Erskine-Smith says that he is unsure now whether he is still interested in that.
There was a reunion of the 5 major late-night hosts last night.
Please welcome back to The Late Show, Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, and Jimmy Fallon.
And you heard from him there, all the hosts. They had a podcast together called Strike Force 5 during the writer's strike back in 2023.
The group came together again last night to show solidarity with Colbert, whose show has been canceled. The Late Show goes dark after May 21st.
I love it they all come together because they obviously all are in slight competition together, but then have a strong goal of we all do this because we love it. So I love that they have each other's
And
backs.
if one's doing well, you're kind of all doing well,
Totally,
right?
yeah.
So I do love that they do come together.
Yeah.
Our forecast today, it's wet outside, and we have started to see that rain. So it is raining now in our city. We were waiting for it all morning long, and it is indeed started. So we are sitting at 8 degrees here still in the city, so not a bad looking start to your morning. It could be a lot cooler. 6 in the valley, 9 in Kingston, and pretty much everywhere getting to see these spotty showers this morning. So this is the rain that we are seeing. Areas to the south of us, Kingston, Brockville, Cornwall, you could see some active weather today in the form of thunderstorms. So thunderstorms possible throughout the day ahead. For us here in Ottawa, we're going to continue to see wet weather. Most of the heavy rain happening into your afternoon today. 10 to 15 millimeters is what we are expecting. It will then kind of taper off late this evening. Still some spotty showers overnight and in through your day tomorrow as well. So Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit wet, more of the wet weather on the way today, but then some spotty showers into Thursday before we finally see sunny skies and warmer temps on Friday. 12 degrees is the high for today, below normal. We should be sitting at around 18, 19 degrees this time of the year. We will be well below that across the region. 10 degrees in the valley for today, 12 over in Gatineau. The good news is it will warm up. 2 more days of these cooler temps, and then we finally see some more seasonal seasonal-like conditions. Overnight lows much better over the next few nights. Not a lot of sunshine today and through tomorrow. It is wet today. As we head into Friday, that's when the nice weather will appear. 20 degrees is your daytime high. Chance of these spotty showers Friday and through Saturday, but a very slim chance. So some areas will stay completely dry. As we head into the weekend, temperatures staying nice and warm. On your roads, we have a collision on the eastbound 417 Parkdale off-ramp. There is a disabled vehicle southbound on Kirkwood at Carling. Eastbound on the 417, seeing volume at the 416 split in through Woodruff. Westbound on the Queensway, also congested, mitigating at Parkdale in through Bayshore. Westbound on the 174, slowdowns at 10th line in through Montreal Road. Riverside Drive is also moving slowly, approaching Bank Street. Lots of construction going on in that area. We also have construction both directions on the 417 at Greenbank. No lane reductions, but it is quite slow in that area. And the 174 is reduced to one lane in both directions at Blair, so there are some backups in that section as well. Will.
Busy morning out on the roads. All right, we got something that'll cheer you up. How about a giveaway? Wake up and win with CTV Your Morning and beancars.ca with a massive $20,000 giveaway. Think about what you do with all that cash at this time. Today's code word, it is reward. We like that one for today. So what you do, head to our contest page at ctvottawa.ca or scan that QR code on the left side of your screen. Enter today's code word. A reminder, it's reward with all your information for your chance to win the Your Morning $20,000 Pay Your Bills contest, brought to you by beancars.ca, Carleton Place. And still to come on the show, learning how to bust a move all summer long at ZB. And guess what? It is totally free. We'll tell you more details about that. And Melissa has stated 100% she's going to bust that move. Maybe I'll join her. Let's take a peek outside. Through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, the rainfall has started. Get the umbrellas ready. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Free dance lessons are back at Zippy this summer, and here with all the details and to show us a few moves, we have Suzanne as well as Annie on the show this morning. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
I'm excited to get busted a move, but before we get to that, tell us about the free dance lessons happening at Zippy.
So this is the third year that we're doing dance lessons at ZB. Dance at ZB. It's every Wednesday of the month, starting at 7 p.m. It's free, open to everyone, residents, visitors. So come on down.
Do you need a dance background at all?
No. The whole point is to learn how to dance, all the different types of dance moves. So
okay,
no
I love that.
Necessary.
And what kind of dance will be involved? Tell us about some of the different types.
Well, I heard that there's K-pop, there's Bollywood, and of course there's me, Afro-Caribbean dance on the 18th. And I'll be bringing some live drummers with us. So folks will be able to really feel that connection with the heartbeat, right? Which is the drum and movement. So we're really looking forward to that.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. And tell us quickly about the Dream Community Fund as well.
So the Dance at ZB programming and all the free programming at ZB is thanks to the support of the Dream Community Foundation. And their goal is to create free programming to bring communities together. So Dream supports communities across the country, here in town at ZB. So there's lots of stuff, night markets and dance and concerts. So check it all out at ZB.ca.
What's the reaction been like for those who have come to these free dance classes?
People love it.
I bet.
Yes, this will be Suzanne's first time this summer.
Oh,
but last year we had K-pop and Latin dance, and the crowds keep growing every year, and it's a super fun time for people of all ages.
Okay, I love that so much. So I'm going to call in my resident dancer here on the show, Mr. Will Aiello.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's never been one to bust a move ever before, and Suzanne, you are going to teach us some moves. Are you ready, Will?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about my choice of my shoes today, but you know what? We'll make it work.
Okay.
We'll take it easy. We'll take it easy. Yeah. So first in Afro-Caribbean dance, it's always important to make sure that you're cleansed and ready to go. So we take a deep breath up, and then we clap out any negative energy right here, one time. Yeah, and then rub in, and rub in joy, rub in love, rub it deep, and then wear it. And then let it flow through your body. Yeah.
Let me know if you want some music. We'll cue that music.
So we're going to do this 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do what's called a calypso turn, where you just put your elbow forward here, and you're following your elbow like it's an arrow. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then change sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, Afro-Caribbean dance is very grounded. We celebrate all this. Yeah?
Celebrate.
Here we go. Because this area of the body was what we call life, right? This represents life, receives life, carries life, right?
Okay.
So then we're going to put our arms out like this. One, and we're going to go forward with the right, back, and at the same time we're going to move to the right. Ready? 1 and 2. Then we go the other side. And 1. And 2. Good, you got it.
We got to cue that music so we can see the whole thing together, and of course, Suzanne will get you to lead it. Are you ready?
Here we go.
I'm gonna watch.
Here, feel it. 2, 3, 4. Are you ready? We're gonna do that calypso turn. Here we go. And 1. Yeah, that's okay. Let's go into this move. You ready? Ready?
Yeah.
Let's wait for the count. 5, 6, 5, 6. Right foot forward. 1, 2, 3. Other side. Again, let's go. You got it. Good. Let's just let it flow.
Oh yeah. Where's Will going?
Ready for another step?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Good. We're gonna go. 1, 2, 3. Open. Then front. Cross. We're going back, right? So it's like a run.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Open. All right, but we're gonna do it on the count. Watch them heels, you know, Melissa.
My dress only goes so far too. I'm getting restricted.
5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we go fast.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3. You got it. Yeah.
Woo.
Let it flow.
Oh yeah.
Flow.
Freestyle.
Come on, Melissa. Show them the light.
All right, we just want to let you all know how you can get involved, because this is, of course, the Blast. Bollywood is happening May 21st, 7 to 8 p.m. If you want more information, you can head to their website. Afro-Caribbean, K-pop, it's all happening at Zibi. Go to their website for more information. And thank you so much, Suzanne and Annie, for joining us today. That was a blast.
And coming up right after the break, we're going to introduce you to a professional athlete representing Canada, not just snowboarder, but CrossFit athlete, and she is a big advocate in women in sport. Wonderful conversation coming up right after the break with Natalie Alport.
Eastern Canada representing up here in the Pyrenees on top of this epic peak. Natalie Alport, 32 years old, on the free ride.
Oh, we got a good one for you today. Natalie Alport is a professional snowboarder for Freeride World Tour back in 2026. Athlete, creator, known for her non-linear path through sport. She's built a career defined by resilience, passion, and reinvention beyond the slopes. She's embraced challenges like competing internationally in CrossFit, running the New York City Marathon, and skiing 100 kilometers for mental health awareness. And she joins us this morning at only 32. Look at what all you've accomplished so far. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's so great to have you, and you're such a champion, especially in women's sport. But I want to take it back to the snowboard free ride. Tell me what that's all about and how great it is to represent Canada.
Yeah, it's been so cool because I was representing Canada when I was younger, then took a big step away for my 20s and then came back to it. So this year was the inaugural FIS Freeride World Championships, which is big mountain riding up in the mountains. You get dropped off by a helicopter at the top and you find your run down. There's no practice runs. And so, yeah, getting to represent in the inaugural year is pretty cool.
How cool is that, too, right? When you go into a sport where, like, there's no practice runs, you just kind of get dropped in off the hill. And it's so unique in the snowboard world as well. What kind of is a little bit different from your traditional competitions you might see snowboarding from this one?
Yeah, like people might see like slopestyle, big air, half pipe on TV. And what you don't know is like people are there for like a week before. They're practicing the runs. They're getting it dialed. Everywhere they go, it's kind of similar. Here, you look through binoculars. You kind of get an idea of what the run is. And you don't know if there's rocks under you, like what it's going to do. So you're really deciding on the fly and having to kind of just do what you're doing in the moment and do it at speed.
It's so fun to watch you do that. I mean, look at this video here, too. Just you in the mountain taking it over. You know, you've been such a champion in women's sport and such an advocate as that as well throughout your years of competing in so many different sports. How proud are you to have that message to empower women to continue down the path that you've done as well?
Yeah, I think it means everything to me. Like growing up, having so many role models that I got to look up to in women's sports, and now seeing women's sports growing and people having even more role models to look up to is super cool. And also that, like, especially as a woman in my 30s, being able to come back to the sport. I think that there's less pressure now to be able to do things like that and make those decisions, and that's been pretty cool to see, and people breaking the barriers on how long you can extend your career as a professional woman athlete.
Yeah, and I think you're so wonderful because you're really open about sharing your journey as a woman and also through some mental challenges through your athletic career. What are some of those hurdles that you've had to overcome during this time?
Yeah, like the pressure on young athletes is so high, and I guess I was like 21 when I walked away from snowboarding, and I walked away for 8 years, and it took me 8 years to come back to it, and it's really difficult, some of the things you go through, whether it's the financial barriers when you're 21 trying to make it work, trying to break into the scene, whether it's the coaches, the different things. But we've seen the conversations around mental health really increase since then, and being able to kind of grow and develop as a human outside of sport and then come back to it really helps you manage kind of the mental pressures. And, you know, I have a bad run, I have a bad season, it's all good. Like, I have other things in my life, and I've been able to build that balance, which is super helpful.
You know, being such an advocate for women in sport, when you look at a team like the Ottawa Charge, you know, making the PWHL final, and back in the day, actually, Will and Natalie faced off way back when in high school, and she was the top player. We actually had to watch out for her in our high school days. When you look at that, how great is it to see, especially here in the capital with women's sport like that, just taking off?
Yeah, it is so cool to see. Like, I'm such a big fan of all the players on the Ottawa Charge and in the PWHL, and all these leagues expanding is just giving more opportunities to women in sports and giving more role models for those coming up, and it's so cool to see the growth.
With so much that you've accomplished so far, what would be a great message that you would have for a younger you or a younger woman in sport right now watching the show going, man, she has really done it all?
Yeah, never give up. Like, follow your heart wherever it leads you. If it's a nonlinear path, like, just follow that. All those things are going to add up and get you to where you want to go. And yeah, just, it's never too late, and keep going.
Look at that too. And only 32 running marathons, on the snowboard slopes, CrossFit athlete. Now that you've accomplished so much and it's so wonderful, and there's still such a long road ahead for you. Thanks for coming on and sharing a little bit about your journey this morning.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right, what a rock star. Still to come up on our show, we are heading to the kitchen because Chef Rene Rodriguez is taking his talents to Tavern at the Gallery. He is standing by to discuss that major role in the Your Morning Kitchen, and smells good from here. Let's head inside to outside, and that rainfall has begun. Grab those umbrellas, folks. 8:27 on your Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Good morning, it's 8:30. Come on in, I'm Rosie Edna.
I'm Willie Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb, and soon enough it will be patio weather across the city. Of course, we love our spot, Tavern at the Gallery. New chef there this year. We're going to introduce you to him, and you may recognize him because he's a very familiar face here in the city.
Oh, we love that. Even you just saying patio season just brings a nice smile to the faces, doesn't it?
Just like, oh, just sit out and enjoy. The warm weather will eventually get here.
This weekend, baby.
Love that. Just a couple of days away. We'll start with sports and our news headlines this morning. The championship series officially set. We now know who the Ottawa Charge will face for the Walter Cup.
For Ambrose. Ambrose on the ground, pull in. Her shot, she scores! Marie-Philippe.
The Montreal Victoire won last night's deciding Game 5 in Laval. The Victoire take down the defending champion, the Frost, 2-1. For the first time, the PWHL Championship Series will feature 2 Canadian teams. Game 1 takes place tomorrow night in Montreal, and the series comes back right here to the capital for game number 3 at the CTC on Monday.
A report from the City of Ottawa's Auditor General suggests our city's police force may have a budgeting issue. The AG says there are gaps when it comes to project management, and that one embarked for $600,000 is already costing more than $5 million.
Was so passionate that they could deliver on this. They thought it was important, and we went with it. And we knew that's a problem, and we knew that perfection would not occur, and there'd be a lot of hurdles. But the good news is that the bulk of the work is already done.
Police Chief Eric Stubbs agrees improvements are needed, saying the service took many of these projects on after years of staffing and financial pressures. The report also finds some projects are under-resourced, inconsistently reported, and in some cases, inaccurate information is provided to oversight bodies. The service has accepted all recommendations from the Auditor General.
An employee at a Canada tire shop is dead after a tire ruptured in a mechanical bay over the weekend. Ottawa police say officers were called to the business on Edgewater Street Saturday afternoon after a man in his early 20s suffered critical injuries. Paramedics say that he was taken to hospital where he was later pronounced dead. The situation is not considered suspicious, but the Ministry of Labour is now investigating the incident at Canada Wheels.
Ottawa's new transit boss has released a 10-point plan to improve public transit. Rick Leary says he developed the plan after spending the last month speaking with riders, union leaders, and city councillors. The first order of business, get LRT back up to full service. He says that'll happen next month.
By the middle of June, we will have 2 trains back in service on Line 1. Very comfortable with that. Line 1 will have the capacity to welcome everyone, whether you're returning back to the office more often or taking part in Canada Day celebrations or the Blues Fest this summer.
Leary says he is looking at more preventative maintenance when it comes to buses and developing a schedule around real travel times. He says it's too soon to talk about the east extension of LRT until the current line is running the way it should be.
The race is heating up for the Canadian headquarters of the new Defence Security and Resilience Bank. 4 of Canada's largest cities, including Ottawa, are vying for the HQ. Premier Doug Ford is putting his weight behind Toronto, but Ottawa's mayor says that our city is the right location. Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa are all competing. The federal government will decide where it goes, but Ford is trying to tip the scales in favor of Toronto. The purpose of the Defence Bank is to provide long-term, low-cost financing for defence projects by NATO members and allies. Ford argues that it should be located near the headquarters of all 5 of Canada's largest banks.
There's only one city in Canada that can truly provide everything the bank needs, and that city is Toronto, backed by Team Ontario, backed by all the other cities surrounding the city of Toronto and Ontario. The bank needs a host city that is one of the largest financial hubs in North America.
Officials here in the nation's capital are pushing back, arguing that Ottawa is best situated in the city for the country to host the Defence Bank.
It allows the federal government to situate the bank in our 2 largest provinces, to situate it near the headquarters of national defense and the Canadian Armed Forces, to situate it close to the 130 foreign missions that are in our city, and to situate it near Parliament Hill.
The new defense bank could involve 40 countries, hold more than $130 billion in assets, while creating an estimated 3,500 jobs. Sutcliffe is hoping to tap into that job creation, partnering with Gatineau's mayor earlier in the year to sell the region as the ideal location. There is still no timeline for the federal government's decision.
U.S. coffee chain Dunkin' Donuts is planning to come back to Canada.
Ham, egg, and cheese English muffin with the coffee.
So Dunkin' has signed a deal with restaurant giant Foodtastic, which runs chains under 24 names, including Second Cup, Pita Pit, Milestones, and Tommy Cafe.
Foodtastic plans to open hundreds of new locations across the country, with the first coffee shops opening within the next year, and Ottawa could see several locations.
I always just think about that pink donut for Dunkin' Donuts.
Here.
Right? It's always like that kind of Simpsons like pink donut that you think about. I think many people will be really happy to have that around.
It'll be different to see Dunkin' Donuts, like that colorful sign, maybe beside Tim Hortons. I mean, I will naturally gravitate toward the Timmy's, but you know, I don't know, might give it a try.
You might have to just dunk your toes in a little bit of the Dunkin' Donuts, but still be, you know, be nice and good to Tim Hortons as well.
There you go. All right, we're going to take a look at your forecast right now. with Melissa.
It's a hot cup of coffee today, tomorrow, and then you can swap to iced coffee by the weekend because we have some warmer temperatures on the way. Showers and cool this morning, wet into the afternoon, but yes, that weekend forecast is looking very sunny and warm. Still sitting at 8 degrees, so we haven't moved temperature-wise this morning. It's not completely gray out there, but we are definitely seeing those scattered showers this morning. So the rain started about half an hour ago. Will continue to rain kind of off and on throughout the day ahead. Most of the heavy rain happening this morning into your early afternoon. It will then taper off late this evening, and we could see quite a bit of rain on the way. 10 upwards of 15 millimeters in the forecast for us. Still some spotty showers lingering overnight tonight and in through your day tomorrow as well. And then Friday, we are expecting more sunshine, but we could still see some spotty showers throughout the morning hours. A daytime high today of only 12 degrees, so below seasonal temperatures into the afternoon. So still some cool conditions across the region. 10 degrees in the valley, but at least everyone's sitting in the low double digits into your daytime highs. Overnight dropping to 6 degrees, and yes, upwards of 15 millimeters of rain on the way for today. Staying cool tomorrow, 14 is the high, but then finally Friday, we are expecting a daytime high of 20 degrees. Spotty showers Friday, Saturday, but nothing that will ruin your day. Still lots of sunshine. Gorgeous on Sunday, a high of 21. Then holiday Monday, 24 is the high. Could see some spotty showers in the afternoon. On your roads this morning, collision on the eastbound 417 Parkdale ramp has been cleared. The disabled vehicle southbound on Kirkwing at Carling is still there. Eastbound on the 417, volume from the 416 split in through Woodruff. Westbound on the Queensway, congestion at the 174 split in through Nicholas, as well as Parkdale in through Bayshore. Westbound on the 417, 174, it's slow, 10th line into the 417. Champlain Bridge experiencing slowdowns coming in from Gatineau. Riverside Drive also slow approaching Bank Street. Lots of construction in that area. So it is pretty much slow east to west. Pack your patience and give yourself some extra time. Familiar face in Ottawa's culinary community has landed at one of the most beautiful spots in the city. Renee Rodriguez will be has joined Tavern at the Gallery. Good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
I am so good and so great to have you here. Tell us about this journey of joining Tavern at the Gallery.
Well, I was invited by the owners to join the group, and I've been there before.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful location.
It is.
With the blossoms and, you know, the patio and everything.
The views, yeah.
Everything. And I had to redesign the menu, obviously.
Yeah.
So I worked with the owners to create something very Mediterranean.
I love that.
Tasty, fresh, and unique for the venue.
Okay.
And there's everything on the menu for everyone.
Okay, I love that. So you've completely revamped the menu, so people who have gone before,
yes,
it's completely new taste items.
Different.
Do you have a favorite off the menu item that you've created?
Yes, so we created the Spanish prawns that we have here.
Okay, tell me about it.
So these are wild shrimps that we get, with, and we fry them with garlic and chorizo.
Ooh, it smells delicious. Like, I mean, it smells
so it's
so
simple.
good.
It's a typical tapas of Spain. You know, you do shrimps with a bit of chorizo, garlic, and a bit of white wine that I have here.
Okay.
And essentially, that's the whole dish. And then this you can share at the table.
It's a shareable.
And normally we give it with a little bit of bread to soak out all the juice left over on the plate.
Okay.
Right? So you get to try it today. And we also have our sourdough pizzas, which is the new pizzas.
So tell me about this. It looks a little different than the pizzas from before.
Yes, so this is a 3-day fermentation dough that we do. And also it goes in the oven at 700. So it cooks in about 3 minutes.
Wow, really quickly.
And it's chewy. So this is one of our famous pizzas. It's lots of mushrooms, caramelized red onions, mascarpone cheese, salt, pepper, and then we put a little bit of arugula for color.
A little
and essentially that's it. And it's the type of pizza that doesn't require a lot of cheese or a lot of oil. It just bakes beautifully.
Because the dough is so flavorful too, and
so,
chewy, and good for your gut health, sourdough.
Like we say, sometimes less is more, right? So it's one of those situations where everything is, has to be like about the flavors and the simplicity. And then
I love a good pizza.
These are the Spanish prawns. And one thing with the shrimps, you never want to overcook them. So you want to cook them past medium, because then they become chewy. So one thing at home that I would recommend, always cook them just, a little bit past medium. These are wild shrimps, which are nice as well.
Wild shrimp.
The moment you overcook shrimps, they become chewy, they shrink, and it's completely not appealing, right? So one of the things that I always tell my cooks, always make sure that the shrimps are medium so they're nice and tender, flavor, and then the chorizo renders a little bit of the fat and it gives it color.
Okay.
And then we do that sauce that we are going to do eventually with the bread. So essentially, that's the whole dish that comes together beautifully.
Wow, and then so you're going to come with the bread and you can kind of dip it in and let it soak up that
so
juice.
We put a bit of bread on the side, and we tell our guests, once you're done with the shrimp, cut the baguette, lick it all, and then you eat it with a glass of champagne. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, that's my absolute favorite. And then the venue itself, you're looking at these breathtaking views as well.
The views and everything, it's just being outside. You know, that's the beauty of
I mean, we're looking at it right now. Absolutely stunning. Okay, and I need to ask, you've been in quite a few competitions over the years. Iron Chef, Top Chef, Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay, yes. Yeah.
Which one was your favorite out of all three?
I would definitely say Top Chef Canada was the most challenging because of the number of days that you have to cook, the number of hours you have to do per day. So that was the toughest one. But once you come on top, then you're happy. So, yeah.
Any more competitions up your sleeve?
No competitions. Only cooking at the gallery and enjoying my time. Yeah.
Only cooking at the gallery and enjoying. Okay, well, we love to hear that. I need to try this.
You gotta try this one. Absolutely, Melissa. Try it.
Oh my goodness! I wish I could cut it in half because I feel like that's a big mouthful. Can I cut it in half, or is?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
it cuts in half because it's not chewy. That's
see how
right.
tender it is?
It is so tender. I got to get some of this juice in here. It looks delicious. I'm sure I have a taste tester on the way for the pizza. Wow.
Big difference, right?
That is absolutely delicious. Wow. Shrimp is cooked perfectly.
And one thing with the shrimp is like it's super tender, you can see. It still has like a nice consistency. It's not like
so much flavor.
It doesn't shrink, right? So.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to order that and come. And of course,
exquisite.
It is exquisite. See, if you say so, we must say so as well. Your palate is extraordinaire. And you guys are already open as well. It's okay, we can talk with our mouth full here.
We're just waiting for the weather to get a little bit nicer, but we open. So come and join us and enjoy some drinks and some Negronis and, of course, some beautiful food as well.
The weather is supposed to be nice this weekend. Here, I've made you a piece here, my friend. You can come in and try it out. Give it a little taste.
Shrimp as well.
This is lovely.
Give it a little bite and tell us how it is. Thumbs up.
And I don't even like, is it mushrooms?
Yes.
It is.
And I don't like mushrooms.
Okay,
delicious. Delicious. See, there you go.
I made you a believer.
Thank you so much again for joining us, and congratulations on joining Tavern at the Gallery. And again, they will be open weather dependent, so head to their website for more information. Of course, they have some beautiful locations here in our city. You can find them on our screen. You can see right there, thetavern.ca/tavern at the gallery. And they should be open this weekend because we're looking good in our forecast. If you have an idea for us in your kitchen, we would love to hear from you, maybe a local chef or a restaurant. Send us an email, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Here's a live look at our wet Centennial Glass sky cam this morning, seeing showers out there to start off your day. We will continue to see that into the afternoon. Good morning, Ottawa. It is 8:44.
Ask the Expert, brought to you by Nelligan Law.
Welcome back. It's 8:47. It is now time for Ask the Expert, and we're talking to Rebecca Schultz from Nelligan Law, and we've got a really interesting topic here. We're talking about how the world of digital footprints plays a role in family law. So if you got a question for us, send it out to us. You can give us a call even live, 613-789-6559, extension 2803, or send us an email, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. So we are speaking with Rebecca Schultz from Nelligan Law about how digital footprints and online activity are factoring into family law cases. This is really an interesting topic here. Good morning to you, Rebecca. And one that I would imagine is changing like every month, every day even.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about how your digital footprint can affect your family, your divorce proceedings possibly.
Yeah.
How does it play a role?
So it really plays a role in two ways. One, evidentiary, and also communication-based. So from a communication perspective, technology has really revamped how we can track parties' communications, particularly when co-parenting. So we can use communication apps like Our Family Wizard, that's very often endorsed by the court. But evidentiary-wise, text messages, social media posts, emails, they are all viable evidence.
So how effective is digital evidence? Like, let's say maybe a spouse in the middle of divorce proceedings sends a searing text to the other spouse. They screenshot it. And then can they use that in court?
You absolutely can.
Really?
Yeah, and it is very persuasive.
Okay.
But it's persuasive when it's used in moderation. So a really big consensus amongst judges is we don't have time to parse through hundreds of text messages. So really pick and choose which text message you want to show to refute the other side's claims.
Social media. Many of us are on social media, including parents, and I'm wondering about those posts that sometimes you make. Maybe you make a comment on social media, and maybe it's on, not even on your account, but on someone else's account, and you make a comment that may seem sort of questionable or unfavorable in the courts. Is that something else that you've got to watch out for?
Absolutely. I mean, social media posts can really be great or horrible, depending on what you're posting and how you're doing it. So a good example of that is, let's say a parent wants equal shared parenting time, but during their scheduled parenting time, they then say, no, sorry, can't take the kids, I have to work. And then they start posting that they're at a restaurant or they're partying. If your former spouse takes a screenshot of that message, you're impacting your credibility, and it could be very persuasive to show that you maybe shouldn't have joint decision-making and joint parenting time with the children, because it may not be in their best interests.
Once again, your digital footprint does matter. We're going to get into a few more scenarios here after the break. This is fascinating stuff. We're talking with Rebecca here, and we're talking about how your digital footprint may affect you in family law. If you have questions for us, let us know. 613-789-6559, extension 2803. We are right back with the continuation of Ask the Expert. It's 8:50. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa.
Ask the Expert, brought to you by Nelligan Law.
Welcome back. We're here with Rebecca, and we're talking about your digital footprint and what kind of impact it has if you're going through a family law court proceeding. So, Rebecca, what about location data? What kind of role does it play?
So location data can be evidence in a family law court proceeding. However, I caution that with saying that it is usually obtained what we call surreptitiously, so without consent or the other party's knowledge. So the court then kind of has to weigh whether the benefits, or what we like to call the probative value, outweighs the deleterious effects, so the consequences of using it. And the big consequence is privacy, obviously. So the court's going to really allow the use of location data where there's a very significant safety risk to the children, or potentially to the other parent, especially if there's something like a restraining order in place.
Okay. And with AI, and it's growing exponentially, you turn around and it's doing something even more. Do you feel like AI will play an even greater role in family law, in court proceedings, and what should we look out for?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've already seen in the legal sphere that there's been lawyers who have been using AI to draft their materials.
Yes.
But that is very concerning because AI actually has something called hallucinations. So it creates fake case law, which also obviously is falsified information. And we are concerned that in family law, because there's a lot of self-represented parties, this could really increase the use of AI to draft materials. In Manitoba, for example, you actually have to identify that your materials are drafted using AI.
That's good.
But we're also looking at family law, whether or not photographs, emails, text messages might be manipulated by AI. And to be honest, I don't have an answer to how we're going to look into authenticating these types of evidentiary information. So it's something we're all going to have to watch out for.
Okay, I have another scenario for you. You have two parties. One parent is not so big on social media. The other parent loves social media, posting with their child, their photograph. But the other parent does not want this to happen. Is there any way that that could actually be detrimental to that parent who loves social media, posting their child there, and they're going through a divorce proceedings?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, once you separate, there has to be a certain level of compromise and co-parenting. And a judge is certainly not going to require a parent to continue posting on social media just because they like to. So my recommendation would be, if your former spouse doesn't want you to post social media with your children, you should not be.
There you go. Simple as that. Rebecca Schultz, thank you so much for coming on. Fascinating stuff. We can talk forever about this. If you have any questions for Rebecca, Nelligan Law, there's their information right on screen. info@nelliganlaw.ca. Their phone number, 613-238-8080. Melissa and Will.
Thanks, Rosie. Okay, so I'm going to give you praised because the long weekend is looking so good, and we need that.
Oh, finally.
But you told us we got to get through a little some before we get there.
A couple days of rain and unfortunately cooler conditions. Not too gray out there right now, though. We're kind of seeing a little bit of sun with some scattered showers, and that's what we will see off and on today. About 15 millimeters of rain, so we could see quite a bit. Keep the umbrellas handy. You will need it today and into your overnight as well. Tomorrow's looking a little gray, a little wet, a little cool, but then Friday, 20 degrees. We'll stay in the 20s all weekend long. Even if we see a little bit of rain, it's not going to dampen my day when you have temperatures of 20 degrees, 24 on Monday. I mean, it's fantastic. Above season.
Halfway take a little rain for a beautiful long weekend.
Loving that. We will see you right back here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Take good care.